Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moltrap here with game number 5, the deciding game of Bisu versus Upmagic. And I did check in between games, and there is a lot on the line here because, well, for one thing, this is Upmagic's chance to actually get his first ever placement in a Star League. Obviously, if he gets 4th place, that's still really good, but he has never actually gotten 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in a Star League before at this point. So this is kind of his chance to really put a title on the board, right? Go down in the record books at the very least as having gotten a 3rd place match. The other thing to think about, I checked as well, and is that there's no prize money for 4th place. 3rd place gets $8,000 approximately US. It's obviously in Korean won, but about $8,000 basically. And 4th place gets nothing. There is no trickling prize pool. You know, oftentimes, you know, in tournaments, especially invitationals and stuff, they want people to have a reason to show up, and so players further down the line will at least get $100 or something like that. But in this case, 4th place and down gets nothing. So this game is an $8,000 game for both of these players. I also think it's interesting to note, I didn't realize this before when I was trying to find that out, I noticed that these guys actually played in the group stage of this tournament as well, which was, you know, a couple months before this or something like that. And they were in the same group, and Upmagic actually beat Bisu in the group stage of this tournament as well. So right now, even though it says 2-2 at the top, technically Upmagic is 1 game up over Bisu in this whole tournament at in that sense. But they both advanced from the group, because the group stages you can have 2 advanced and 2 eliminated, and they ended up going in different sides of the bracket, and here they are in the 3rd place match. So everything on the line here for both players in order to get some prize pool money and in order to get that sweet, sweet check mark next to your name in the stats where it says you placed in the tournament, because usually 4th places are not counted. Anyway, let's see how this goes. We got Upmagic, of course, is the Terran player if you're just joining us, and the left side of the map. Bisu is the Protoss player on the bottom right of the map. Scouting units passing each other in the night, or in the day, I guess. Nothing too interesting going on so far, but anyway, this is pretty exciting because I'm really curious to see how this goes. We've had such exciting games so far. We've had Upmagic just doing really creative stuff, and Bisu going carriers a lot as well on the maps that warranted it. Just really, really cool stuff so far. So hopefully we'll have some more fireworks here at the end for the finale and see some interesting games. Lots of Dark Templar in this series as well, actually. All right, we got a Marine out, and it looks like Upmagic has built his buildings. I believe if you have the barracks next to the factory like that, you can run your Marine in between them. So if we see any zealot stuff happening, he's gonna be able to have that like sort of fake bunker where he can run his Marine in between the buildings and defend, and he won't have to micro because apparently he doesn't know how to micro against zealots. And I don't feel bad for harping on him because of that, because, well, anyway, let's move on. Second factory going down for Upmagic as well. We've seen him being very, very aggressive here in this, oh, what's the SCV up to? Is he going to try and mine out the back? Remember we saw his game versus Jadong. Upmagic actually took a very quick expansion, and then Jadong just sent a few drones and mined out the back, and all Upmagic needed to have done was put one marine over there to stop the drones from mining out those minerals, and he would have protected his entire expansion. But instead, the Zerglings came in the back and overran his natural expansion before he was prepared, and he lost that game. So, anyway, not sure exactly what was going on with that SCV there in the back minerals. He may have just been watching to kind of see if he could spot anything over the minerals, and just kind of like peek his eyes over the fence. And he's actually spending a lot of time trying to keep this SCV alive in the top right, even though this is not Bisu's base. He doesn't really gain any scouting information. Eventually that SCV is going to go down. But That's interesting. That he was kind of keeping it alive. I guess he was hoping he might be able to sneak it out behind and then maybe get it back to his main base and keep that SCV alive to mine with. Anyway, so we do have 2 factories though, and this is interesting. We might be seeing him kind of trying to do like a fake double, where although we saw him float the barracks, so never mind. Usually on a fake double you see them continuing to produce Marines. He's gotten mines out again. Up Magic loves his mine play. Trying to take control of the map with the mines, and it doesn't look like it's working very well. A lot of these mines are being picked off by these Dragoons. Bisu doing a very good job of playing forward with his units, making sure his Dragoons are kind of maintaining some control of the map. Otherwise, if his units were just his natural expansion, he could just get easily walled in, and all of those mines that were having to be placed out in the broad reaches of the map would be placed in his natural instead. But Magic coming in here with 2 tanks, and it looks like he is going to be forced to fall back to those mines. But an observer is out, so those mines are not going to do anything at all but just actually soak up a few shots. Magic notices this is happening. He's going to have to fall back. Looks like Siege Tech is not quite completed yet. A couple more vultures coming in here are going to be able to plant down mines. Again, at least those mines are going to soak up hits. Whoa! Bisu runs it. Oh no, is he going to take the mine hit? Oh, the mine hit goes off and does major damage. That was crucial. He didn't attack that mine. Where is his observer? His observer, oh no. He'd like attacked move his observer too far forward, and it wasn't within range. He's losing so many Dragoons to these mines, which was completely unnecessary. Bisu had this game in the bag with the observer, and he's lost so many Dragoons that he didn't need to if the observer had just stayed with them. Instead, taking huge mine hits in the middle of his forces, these vultures are following up. And I was going to say, like, oh, and his one vulture is going to actually get into the base and get a scout in as well. He stops to drop a mine that might have cost him. No, he's going to be able to get all the way in. Okay, so he's going to scout. Well, I mean, he doesn't really see anything he doesn't know already. He knows his observatory because he's seen the observers out. So, Bisu trying to make it a natural expansion. I think it might be a little bit too optimistic at this point. There is a tank attacking that nascent Nexus, but I think Bisu is going to be able to deal with this. He's going to be able to get that observer back. There's Siege Tech, but I don't think he quite has enough forces to siege up there. Okay, he is going to siege up. So now if the Dragoons get close enough to kill off the mines that are right in front of those tanks, they are going to be killed off by the tanks. So this is a nice little siege outside of Bisu's expansion. I don't know if it's quite going to be able to be enough to finish him off, but it's going to be really, really detrimental to Bisu right now. Okay, the observer has gotten back here now, and there's a shuttle in play. This is crucial. Shuttle is going to be really, really nice. He's going to be able to drop things right on top of that tank. He's going to be able to drop units inside of the mines and try and drag the mines as well. And, whoa, there's one Zealot soaking up a lot of mine hits. I think it was a Zealot. It might have been a Dragoon. Didn't actually see. But either way, a lot of the mines go down, and he's going to break the siege very quickly. So nicely done by Bisu, getting that shuttle out. Shuttle being a crucial component in breaking that siege. In the meantime, Magic has, of course, used this time to develop his natural expansion, and he's getting some turrets up as well. Turrets, I think he needs more turrets, though, because we are going to have this Reaver and a shuttle coming out. It's going to perhaps do significant damage to Magic's economy if you can get in behind that natural expansion where the turret isn't. There's a tank, though, there. The tank is in a nice spot, so I believe... Well, I think there's actually probably a spot or two where the Reaver could drop out and not be within range of that siege tank. I'm not quite certain about that. Maybe not, actually. It looks actually... No, actually, there's space below. Yeah, there is space below, so he could drop out of range of that siege tank. Said he's going to drop within range of the siege tank, but he's probably going to drop the Dragoon out first. Actually, no, he's just going to kind of fake that natural and run right into the main base where there is no turret. And, oh no, he's lining up as if he's perfectly for a huge Scarab shot. The Scarab getting confused on the Vulture is not able to land. Another Scarab goes out. He's attacking the tank this time. The Zealot's going out to to draw fire as well. And the second Scarab does actually hit the tank. So significant damage done with this Reaver already by taking out one of those tanks. Turret finishes right underneath that observer. And that's interesting. I wonder if he moved it on purpose. There's actually... I'm not sure if it was ever fixed, but there used to be a glitch where if your observer was directly on top of the turret, then the turret couldn't actually hit it. And so the observer would stay alive above the turret. And it was actually an illegal move, so like you couldn't do it on purpose. Although I think the turret was built right underneath that observer. So I'm not sure how that works actually. If the turret is built directly underneath the observer, is the impetus on the Protoss player to move the observer so that they aren't using that glitch? I don't know. Anyway, this doesn't actually apply in this situation, but it's kind of interesting to note. And I wonder if like maybe that's why he moved the observer, because he saw that turret and he wanted to move it to avoid the glitch, or if he just trying to move it in time so that it would get away from the turret before it finished building. Either way, 4 factories up now for Magic. He's got decent turret coverage in his main base now, so that he's not too worried about that shuttle coming in and doing more damage. And we're seeing more carriers. More carriers for Bisu. Again, just trying to use the fact that he has a little bit of map control right now to shift into the carrier tech, which has been pretty effective for him in general. And we're seeing Magic trying to push out though in the same time, and he doesn't have any turrets out here. He doesn't have any Goliaths yet either. So this shuttle with some Zealots in it is actually able to do a significant amount of damage. Oh, picks off a tank that was forward facing. Kind of the Vanguard tank there gets killed off. Some SCVs are getting killed off as well. It's a little bit sloppy by Magic. He needed all of those. He needed that tank. He needed the SCVs to be building turrets in order to maintain this. He's able to fall back to a single turret, but oh, the mines are able to drag into the tanks, but he actually doesn't do enough damage. The Reaver dropping out in the middle of the tanks. A Scarab goes off, it looks like, doing a lot of damage, and Magic is now on the run. It looks like Bisu is taking full control of this game. He's killing. Oh, he's not going to quite kill off another tank, but Bisu's not losing many forces there at all. Even keeping his shuttles. I think he lost the Reaver, crucially. I think the mine that went off there or something killed off the Reaver. I didn't see if it actually killed it, though, but he's crucially able to kill off those tanks. So losing 4 tanks is a huge, huge, huge loss. Obviously, he was forced to fall back. If he hadn't lost the tank, if he had more support for that push, you know, this could be a completely different game. We could instead see Magic still sieging up on this high ground. But instead, we're seeing Bisu take control of the map, pushing Magic back into his natural expansion. Bisu content, though, to just take those wins and take a 3rd base instead of trying to push into natural expansion. It's always, even if you've managed a lot of gains, it's always dangerous to push into the natural expansion of a Terran player, because they can have their wall set up well, they can have their SimCity, they can have a lot of stuff in the way. That just this couple tanks can do severe damage, and there's enough turrets in the natural expansion that he wouldn't be able to quite do the same thing with the dropping of the Zealots on top. I mean, it's possible he could have forced it, but decided not to. Instead, he's just going to take that 3rd base. Magic building a random 3rd base in the top middle of the map. I think at like the natural expansion for another spawn point or something like that. Kind of a weird spot. But he is taking that 3rd base. And there's the carriers out now, kind of showing his hand. I think he may have seen like a comm scan go off or something. He may know that Magic is aware of those carriers, but deciding to put them in play with only 2 of them instead of waiting for like 4 and a lot of interceptors in order to have kind of a surprise effect. Is that turret going to complete in time? Not quite. If he wants to drop on those tanks, he doesn't decide to do that though. Yeah, there's the Goliaths coming out now, so there's only the 2 carriers, but they're able to do as much as they want basically against these ground army until the Goliaths show up. So the Goliaths are going to be able to fight back. Only 4 Goliaths, so it looks like the carriers, actually 4 carriers now in play as well. Probably not full interceptors on the other 2, but still he's got enough interceptors to put out that he can start picking off tanks. And that is, I mean, that's the point of the carriers, is they can outrange the tanks, they can kill off the tanks, and if you can keep the tank count low, then your ground army wins. That's essentially how it works. And using that shuttle to drop on the island base as well in order to, there's a little mineral patch there, so you can't just float a command center over. You have to actually drop a unit on that spot. 4 carriers out now. SCVs, where are those SCVs going? Are they running back to the natural? I didn't see exactly what was going on there. Anyway, but again, this is a map where there's a ridge behind the natural expansion that Bisu can take advantage of with the carriers. Another good carrier map. So Yeah, and oh, okay, so that's where that was. So that little attack with the floating command center, that was up in that top base, the sort of 11 o'clock base that we saw UpMagic trying to make. UpMagic is still trying to push out on the map. He's going to try to kind of cut the map in half, make this sort of middle defensive position with tanks and Goliaths to defend them and turrets. But these carriers are able to move out and do significant damage. There wasn't enough tanks, or there wasn't enough anything basically. And so he's able to kind of push out with the carriers and take out those couple turrets that were undefended. And oh, there's the Reaver drop at this side base, which is completely undefended. Everyone's occupied in the middle, and there's Dragoons moving in now as well. There's only one tank. I think these Dragoons might just be able to win the day with the firepower bonus from the carriers as well. The Goliaths pushing in onto the carriers, and while they're attacking the carriers, the Dragoons are just doing work against the Goliaths and picking them off. Just beautiful micro back and forth, just picking off the tanks with the carriers, picking off the Goliaths with the Dragoons, and doing maximum damage with both. And UpMagic just completely folds in the middle. He loses all of his forces here. The Reaver is still doing damage on the left side of the map to that base as well. And it looks like he didn't quite go for the kill on all those SCVs, but there's nothing stopping him from just marching that in there. And actually he's like, okay, well, let's just save the Scarabs and move the Dragoons in instead and attack the command center directly. So Bisu has complete control of the map. This is looking terrible for UpMagic right now. He's going to lose that base. He's going to lose all those SCVs. There's no way they can escape. And Bisu has complete map control. Bisu has the 6 o'clock base. He's got the 3 o'clock base. So he's got 4 bases running to UpMagic's 2. And UpMagic has no forces with which to move out and try and take another base. Now, I thought I saw something at 12 o'clock, and I don't know if it's a hidden base or if it's just like a random building or something there, or something just kind of giving map vision. I'm not sure what's going on at 12 o'clock. Okay, so this is another push out by UpMagic. He's got another group of tanks. He's trying to again, he knows he can't just cede map control to Bisu. He has to do something. So he's moving his tanks out into the middle of the map once again to try and take control of the middle of the map. But Bisu doesn't care. He's moving into the natural expansion. Some of his carriers are low on health. If UpMagic can somehow pick them off, we might see him be able to take an advantage because he has killed off the Dragoons, but there's no Cloaked Wraith army to come in at the last second as a crucial counterattack and take control here. And I don't think Bisu really cares. He's just going to work on these Goliaths with his carriers. He says, you know what, you've got 6 Goliaths, I've got 8 carriers. I'm just going to take you out. And he's just has too many forces at this point, just picking everything off. 3 tanks are going to siege up next to a single turret. More than enough for the Dragoons to deal, or less, not more than enough. He's got more than enough to deal with it with those Dragoons, though, and the carriers following up as well. So there's the Chi coming in from UpMagic, just ripping off the Band-Aid. Actually, that's not really an apt metaphor because ripping off the Band-Aid is like getting something over with, I guess. But I guess ripping off the tourniquet and letting himself bleed out to make it go faster. It's a really terrible metaphor. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, point being, getting it over with and ending the game, knowing that he could hold out a little bit longer, but he would eventually lose regardless. So UpMagic conceding the game, and he's not going to be able to get that 3rd place on his scoreboard, on his stats. And Bisu's going to be able to get at least a bronze medal to add to his golds and silvers that he has under his belt already at this point in time, and he's going to win more Star Leagues in the future as well. So anyway, 3rd place for him, $8,000 goes to Bisu. Very, very nicely done, and very, very strong play, getting a little bit of revenge for his loss in the group stage by winning where it counts here in the 3rd place match. And he's got to feel pretty good about that. He's obviously not happy to be not going to the finals, but shows a strong showing regardless. Giving a bow to the cheering fans, and going ahead and going back into the back room to chill out and relax now that he's put a lot of effort and focus into the last couple hours of gaming. UpMagic is looks not very happy about that, but you got to hand it to him. He put in a good showing as well. So anyway, well played. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, this was all leading up to the finals, which are going to be between Stork and Jaedong. Finals should be, I'm not sure when this is going to be put out, this particular video, but the finals are on Friday, or if you're like in the Pacific Islands, they're gonna be early on Saturday, early morning on Saturday. Again, I've got a link to the time zone thing, everytimezone.com, which doesn't show every time zone. But I'm going to have the link to that so you can see when the finals are going on in your time zone, wherever you are in the world. And hopefully I'll see you guys there. And if not, it'll still be fun. I think we're probably going to have a handful of people there. It seems like a lot of people can't make it. That's fine, because I know there's a few people that are going to make it, and we'll have a good time even with the people that show up. So it should be fun times. Anyway, so hopefully this awesome third place match has hyped you up for the finals. I think it's going to be great. We're going to have a PVZ between basically two of the best players ever. Stork, one of the top 3 Protoss in existence, and Jaedong, the top Zerg in existence. It should, and both at the height of their careers, right as they're really getting off the ground with their Star League wins, and both of them having put in awesome showings before. It's going to be cool. It's going to be basically the height of PVZ that has ever existed. So I'm really looking forward to that match. Hopefully I'll see you there. And if not, like I said, the VOD of the whole live match cast will be on YouTube at some point as well. So, all right, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go rest my voice for a little bit and try and not talk for a few. And I will see you there, hopefully. And thanks for watching.